All right, friends and colleagues, it is time to get started. Please welcome Exol Senior Manager, Network Design and Supply Chain Analytics, Teresa Viola.
Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, chart it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, erase it, write it.
Hey. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much. I am super excited to be here to talk to you all a little bit about Exol and how we have been using the agentic AI capabilities in the Lyric platform to really accelerate our supply chain analytics process. So just to start us off, who is Exol? So Exol, we like to think of ourselves as the supply chain of the future. So we are launching a series of fully automated fulfillment centers around the United States, starting with 5 locations. And within an Exol warehouse, everything is automated, from unloading the trucks to building pallets, case pick, each pick, parcel shipments. Everything is completely performed by robots. So within the locations, it's more robots than people. And we really see our company vision as being able to offer the advantages of supply chain automation to every kind of company, no matter how large or how small, wherever they are in the journey. That's really the Exol vision. So that's a little bit about us. And then in terms of myself and my team, we're working in a pre-sales context, so developing bids for prospective customers who are interested in Exol services. And when I say developing a bid is a full supply chain project. We have to develop a comprehensive model of your supply chain with all of its eccentricities and all of its nuances and all of the specifics, down to product characteristics for our automation profile, and the inbounds, the outbounds, the transportation consolidation, everything. And we have to use that to develop a cost to serve model on our side and get a proposal back to you in a timely manner. I've been in supply chain analytics for a long time, and when you think about a complex supply chain project, typically I can say, yeah, I can get it to you quickly. Yeah, I can go into a lot of granular detail. Yeah, I can go extremely broad and do an end-to-end analysis, but you kind of have to pick 2 of those, right? But we didn't want to necessarily make that choice at Exol. We wanted to go super fast, but without sacrificing all of the granular analytics and all of the end-to-end comprehensive analytics. So how do you bring that to life? The first option is you can hire a huge team. Headcount your way out. Hire people, train them, and that can work. That can be a strategy to make sure you can maintain high velocity of project throughput, but it has disadvantages. I think a lot of the disadvantages are obvious. It's expensive. There is going to be inconsistency even in the best managed teams. It's just not necessarily like the go-to strategy. But I think beyond that, at Exol, we also didn't want to necessarily be thinking that way. Our real vision is that we are the supply chain of the future. We are pushing the boundaries of technology in our warehouses, and so we should be doing the same in all of our other processes, including supply chain analytics. And given that we were launching this all in 2026, our 2025, 2026, the really obvious answer to this solution was like, let's see what AI can do for us. Obviously, we did not get there overnight, so I started with Exol a little under a year ago, and just like every other company, we were in our Excel era, right? So you send us the data for your supply chain, we take a look at it, comprehend it, build the fit profile, do the cost model, give you a pricing proposal, all in Excel. In December, we brought Lyric on board, and this is where we took a lot of the algorithms that we were already performing as analysts and migrated them into the platform through custom green notes. And so that's really been the way we've been operating within the platform up to this point. So things like assessing a case to see if it's going to fit through our automation, things like understanding the throughput of the warehouse, all of that was stuff we began to migrate to Lyric, the cost model itself. But we still had we had 2 areas that were still very time-consuming and were still really slowing us down. And the first is when the customer sends us raw data, it is in any kind of format. As you can imagine, we get super clean data sets that have really nicely labeled columns where everything is very clean and easy to understand, but that's the exception. Normally, there's a lot of discovery we have to do. We have to learn about all of the secrets that the data contains because we want to do something holistic and accurate for our customers right from the get-go, right from the first time we get to look at their data and information. And the second piece that was still a little bit time-consuming is that after we did our fit profile assessment, so doing the bid analytics and translating that into something that's going to work for our cost to serve modeling, there's some data wrangling, data transformation, data aggregation, things like that that need to happen. A lot of manual work on the part of the analyst, even within the Lyric platform, because it also depends on some of the customer eccentricities, et cetera, some of the data structure. But fortunately, we identified pretty quickly that these are two areas where AI is a perfect fit to attack these kind of problems. So the very first example we have here, about like assessing customer data, we can take a look at a real-life example, and this is from very early when the agentic AI capabilities first went live on the Lyric platform, some of the first stuff that we were doing. Customer sends us a whole bunch of files, 4 million rows of data, and it would take a talented analyst a little bit of time to be sifting through that data, understand what are some of the potential problems, what are some things that are missing, what is the story that it's telling us. And the Lyric agents were actually able to do that in minutes. In under an hour, we had a really complete understanding of a few things. First of all, we understood the customer's supply chain. We had a really good breakdown of all of the different parcel carriers they were using, what their different shipment profiles looked like, what we were looking at in terms of a weight and dimension distribution, all of those things. That was quite fast. But also, we had clean and prepared outputs that were already ready to go to the next stage of our analytics. And that's because the Lyric agents were already given that context of the exact green notes that we had built, which are, again, custom to us. So they know what column names we need. They know what our business objectives are, so they have some of that more qualitative information in their context as well. And so the whole beginning process, which normally is laborious and can take some time and can really be something that slows the process down, became very fast and easy. And not only that, but because there was this element where we got a really complete report on the customer information, even before we were going to build the models, I was already able to give that to the leadership team so that they could be making more strategic business decisions about how to engage this particular customer and how they wanted to drive the conversation forward while we were still building the models that would eventually support the proposal that we would deliver at the end of that process. So it really made my life so much easier, and I said that to the team right away, and this was when the agents first went live, and there's actually been even a lot of progress since then. So I think something when we talk about AI, I've been fortunate now to have worked on building agents and using agents in the supply chain analytics and planning context in a couple of different organizations now. And AI is not a tool that will solve every single problem that you have. There are a couple really specific best practices I've found as I've worked with it in an analytics context that make it something that helps you rather than something that feels like a real barrier you have to overcome in order to implement. And the first is, as we've been kind of talking about all day, if you have a part of your supply chain analytics process that is deterministic, it should remain fully deterministic. AI always is going to have an element of uncertainty. And if you insert that into a process that's today fully deterministic, you're just adding a level of risk that's usually not necessary. So for us, thinking about a case dimension that's this long, this wide, this deep, is that going to fit in our robots or not? That's just a calculator. It's just comparing two numbers to each other. So agents shouldn't be doing that process. They should be calling the algorithm that does that process, and that's exactly how we've implemented at Exol. We have these tentpole algorithms that are the structures of our process, and AI is really linking those tentpoles together in order to make everything more seamless and reduce the non-value added work that the team is doing. The second is that agents themselves tend to work better and give you better results, more supportive results, when they're objective driven, they have specific objectives and a narrower scope. So we right now have something like 4 agents plus an orchestrator in our platform, and each one of those agents has a particular skill set. Their contexts are a little bit different. Their prompts are a little bit different. And sometimes I'm talking to one of those agents directly. Sometimes I talk to the orchestrator, and the orchestrator calls an agent, and they talk to each other, and that's kind of fun to watch. But either way, We have kind of specific agents with specific contexts, which helps make sure that the agents, again, are supporting you in your process and not going off in another direction or giving you kind of messy outputs, things like that. So where are we today as Exol? So before we went on this journey, when we were still in our Exol era, it took some time for us to complete a proposal. I would say we still moved quite fast, but everything was manual. So it could take a couple weeks, sometimes even longer for us to turn around a bid. And now we're doing it much, much faster. So sometimes in less than a week from the receipt of the original data to having the proposal out the door, we're able to achieve that, which is great, because that gets us one step closer to our objective of being able to deliver 500 quality bids a year. Is that entirely AI? Not necessarily. We've also made sure to invest in strong ways of working, well-developed processes, making sure we have the right talent on board, and AI is a part of that ecosystem that's kind of strategically deployed in the places where it's best poised to benefit us. But we've also invested a lot in building, again, that ecosystem kind of around all of the tools and technology we have available to us. And so we have a kind of end-to-end people, process, data, technology type of ethos that's helping us achieve the results that we've been able to see. So that's all I have for you. I really appreciate the time and attention this afternoon. I know I've already talked to some of you about AI and where we're going at Exol. As you can tell, I love to talk about this stuff. So feel free to come find me if you have any questions or if I can help explain anything more. And have a lovely rest of your afternoon. Thank you.